Hey, this is Pastor Curry, pastor of the East Zion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya and anything you can do about it. Hey, today we'll pastor with, I'm just going to start over. Hey, this is Pastor Curry, pastor of the East Zion Fair Baptist Church, Wilmington's most exciting church, the church that love ya and anything you can do about it. Today with Coffee with Curry, we have decided to bring in the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, and we wanted to continue the conversation, to continue the dialogue. Breast cancer is not just something for 1 month to be aware of. It's something that we need to be doing 12 months out of the year. And during the month of October, we weren't able to get this particular organization in, but what we decided to do was to bring them on after the month of awareness was over, because every day we should be making sure we bring awareness to it. So why don't you call somebody real quickly, tell them that Coffee with Curry is on, and let's get after it.
Good morning, Delaware and surrounding areas. You are now tuned in to this week's Coffee with Curry. Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. with new guests every week. So grab your cup of coffee and join us on Coffee with Curry.
And we're back. Well, it is a joy and a privilege to have you with us, Miss Francesca Vogel. I know I always get these names are hard, but it's just a joy to have you with us today, being the CEO of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition.
Thank
First,
you.
how are you doing today?
Doing very well, and thank you so much for having us here today.
Well,
Appreciate
it
that.
is a joy. It is a privilege. So many suffer in silence with this issue, and I'm glad to know that there are people out there who are really working hard to bring awareness and to also offer services for those who may find themselves struggling with this sickness. But let me before we get started in our conversation today, let's hear a little bit about you. How are you doing? Your children, anything you want to share, because that's important to know the persons who really work hard for the organizations.
Sure. Well, I'm a 24 plus year resident of Newark, Delaware.
Okay.
So most of my adult life has been here in Delaware, and I call this proudly home.
Amen.
I am a mom, a proud mom of two boys we've raised here with my husband, our family here
Uh-huh.
in Delaware. We've done all sorts of sports throughout the state
Uh-huh.
and been involved in our church as well. And we're happy to be part of this community.
Well, well, first, let me say welcome. And you said you've been here for 24 years. You don't look to be 24 years old. So that's an awesome opportunity to show how you are preserved well. You work in a very, very, as I would call it, important role. You kind of navigate as the CEO the activities, events for the breast cancer awareness, and as well as some services. When did you get when did you get interested in doing such work?
So it's interesting, actually, breast cancer and awareness of breast cancer issues came into my life at a very young age
Mhm.
when I was still in grade school as a lifelong friend of mine whose mother happened to be diagnosed with breast cancer. And that experience was very devastating to watch a young girl lose her mother eventually, who succumbed to the disease, and understanding what that would do to her family life. Sort of carried that awareness with me. And she, of course, as someone with breast cancer history in her life, started screening at a very young age, as she should have, and eventually wound up with breast cancer of her own. But because it was diagnosed and detected so early and treated early, I'm happy to say that she's a brave survivor today. So there's also a message of hope there if we could find and detect this breast cancer early. And breast cancer is still very prevalent. One in
Yes.
every 8 women will be diagnosed in her lifetime with breast cancer, as well as men.
Mhm.
Not quite as much. One in
Right.
about every 833 men will be diagnosed, but it does occur. And since then, I've had family members, currently a cousin of mine, with breast cancer undergoing treatment, a coworker, family friends in our neighborhood. So it's always sort of been a constant in my life as far as an awareness.
Mhm.
Um, I think there was a point in my life, sort of a defining moment, maybe, where unfortunately my eldest boy was involved in a near fatal car accident. And I've always had prayer in my life. It's always been a part of who I am. But I don't think I've ever prayed so hard in my life for him to come through that. And God did, by His grace, see him through that. And there was a moment where I decided, maybe I should be doing something different with my life, something that really gives me a feeling of purpose. And I believe things don't happen by chance. I think I was divinely led
Wow.
to this organization because this feels like where I should be making a difference.
As you were speaking, I just, this is the reason people ask me often. They say, why do you ask your guests in the front end to tell a little bit about themselves? It's important for us to always know that there's a passion behind what you do. There's a purpose and a fulfillment. And what I'm hearing you, it was as a result of something that happened in your personal life with your child that you really wanted to bring purpose to your life. And anyone can work at a job and make a lot of money doing many things, but to even work for a nonprofit is to speak to a commitment. And this is a very, very important issue, when you're talking about breast cancer. Um, how is your son doing now? So
He's doing great.
he's doing great now.
Yeah, both boys are in college.
Oh, wow.
So, when a child undergoes, head trauma and things like that, we worry, does some of their cognitive ability go away? But he's in dental school now, so he
Oh,
has big dreams of his own.
okay.
So glad.
Well, tell him I may need a dentist or to keep doing what he does. And you hit the key when you said that you have always had prayer as a part of your life. But God gave you another direction and allowed you to start working with those individuals who need some support in the breast cancer area. And I think this is just remarkable. You serve now as the CEO for the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. Tell me a little bit about the coalition and what they offer.
Yeah, so, first of all, our team, although small, we're pretty mighty.
Mhm.
We have offices in each county. Right here in Wilmington is our headquarters on West 10th Street.
Mhm.
And we have an office in Dover and an office in Sussex County as well,
Okay.
in the Rehoboth area. Although we have a small team, they're mighty. And I have to say, they were part of my inspiration for working here. They're truly a team of passionate people who are dedicated and caring, many of them survivors themselves.
Mm.
So this is a personal story and something they want to see brought to others so that we can empower our community through raising awareness like we're doing today,
Right.
outreach, education, and for the purpose of fostering early detection
Mhm.
and treatment when outcomes for health are much more effective the earlier breast cancer is detected and treated.
Mhm.
And that is really, it drives everything that we do. For those who are diagnosed, we have all sorts of programs for survivorship. And we hope that we can talk a little bit about those today.
Yeah, well, when we do our final segment, we're going to bring you back in so that we can, because I want the people of Wilmington, of Newcastle County, to hear of the amazing things. You said it twice, small but mighty. And when we were looking for an organization to come and represent, that's why we waited on you all, because we knew that you all were doing a great work, and I'm really appreciative for that. Breast cancer has hit my family as well, and friends and people who I respected very highly. They are members of our congregation who found themselves there. But you are absolutely right. If detected early, it's almost curable totally. So I just am very grateful for that. With the staff that you currently have, you have 3 locations. Um, you talked about maybe some of the services that you all provide, but do you find it very difficult to get people to just come in and or call you all to talk about where they may be in their life, or what happens when how do y'all get people to be engaged?
Yeah, so I think that there's certainly some obstacles to overcome
Mhm.
in the community. The pandemic, of course, has set all sorts of preventative screenings back a bit. So we have our work cut out for us. It feels as though, we took so many strides forward, and this pandemic, COVID, 2.5 year hiatus kind of set us back. So educating, outreach, making sure people have access,
Mm.
overcoming those barriers. Sometimes it's the fact of people being uninsured or underinsured, and they put off their own priority, their own health as a priority. And we know, unfortunately, through experience and just probably just looking at our own lives, our own families, that women tend to shoulder quite a bit of burden in
Yeah.
caring for everyone else, right, in the family. Usually that puts them in the last rung in terms of taking care of themselves. But we know that women can't be that helping hand for those who rely on them unless they're taking care of themselves. So we're trying to remind women, especially, that they need to get back on track with their preventative screenings. And we have programs that we'll talk about to overcome those insurance barriers,
Okay.
even transportation barriers. We work with different companies and poultry plants throughout Delaware, where we're working to even bring them over to their mammographies. We have Mary Jo Vasquez here, who
Yeah.
is very involved with that, so I'll let her talk about a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But really just removing the fear and the stigma that perhaps used to be attached to breast cancer, and having an open dialogue about that so that no woman who is diagnosed feels like she has to really go that journey alone,
Yeah.
because there's so much support
Yeah.
and a foundation of just fellowship and camaraderie, where we see women who are fearful at the beginning of their diagnosis transformed through the strength that they gain through our programs, which
Right.
give them physical strength as well as mental and emotional strength to be able to face those challenges and to know and see through other living survivors that have overcome that the future is hopeful. We just need to get them in the right frame of mind to be in the best place to accept treatment and to move beyond breast cancer.
Yeah. I while you were speaking again, I was thinking, as a CEO, one of the burdens I think you would have is really keeping the funding where it needs to be so that you can continue to attract talented people to do all the things that you just shared, as well as paying the bills that has to be paid. And one of the things I wanted to do with this show is I wanted to make sure those of you who are watching, we donate as a pastor. We want donations at the church so that we can keep our ministries going. But this is very significant and very important. And if a person is watching us today, especially you use the language of how you motivate those who may feel that they were going to take this journey alone. You're able to give them the tools needed. Those things are needed, and we don't want those things to stop. So if a person is watching today and they're saying, I don't have a lot, but I just want to give something to add to the kettle, to the pot, how would they give to the Delaware Breast Cancer Associate? I mean, Coalition. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think one of the easiest ways is to visit our website, and that's www.debreastcancer.org.
Okay.
At the very top, there's a button to donate, so
Oh, wow.
very simple.
Yeah.
Another way would be to reach our offices. We're here in Wilmington. We're housed in the Community Services Building
Oh, downtown. Okay.
with other nonprofits.
Okay.
So give us a call if you want to make a donation. You can also visit us on Facebook at DE Breast Cancer Co. and make a donation there as well. We also operate a retail resale shop as well in Wilmington at the Talleyville Shopping Center,
Okay.
just off of Route 202. And that's run by volunteers who are survivors themselves. And it's been in operation 12 years. So
Oh,
we're
wow.
delighted about that. Survived the pandemic. You can make a donation of gently used clothing there. Or walk into the store there and make a donation. All the proceeds, everything that is sold in that store, the proceeds benefit the mission and the programs and services of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition.
Now, do you have the phone number to that one too? Because there are people, like you said, generally used items. One, I want to know the address again because we're going to make sure it's on the screen. I need you to give me that address again so that those of us who believe in the cause, if we can go by and buy something or at least donate, it's going to be important for that. And secondly, I kind of lost my phone on that one. So just first, tell me the address one more time.
So the Great Stuff resale shop.
It's called Great Stuff.
Great Stuff, and
Okay.
there truly is great stuff there.
Okay.
So it's home furnishing, small furniture accents, as well as clothing, women's clothing. And that is at the Tallyville Shopping Center, right off of Route 202 and Silverside Road.
Okay, I know exactly where that is. Very good. And it's called The Good Stuff.
Great stuff.
Oh, great stuff. Make sure you have that the great stuff. And is there, I know I'm catching you off guard with asking you for numbers. And if you don't, we can get it and put it on the screen as well. But do you have a number that someone could easily call?
I don't have that committed to memory,
Okay.
but
Well, you will see on your screen in a couple seconds
okay.
the phone number in which you can call to donate, to make sure you have the driving directions to get to them, because this is very important. Every bit helps. And I wanted to make sure that I showed my support by at least bringing you all on, and let's continue the awareness all year long. And, and as you said, we do have Mary Jo, who's going to come on, who is a survivor. And I'm very grateful that you all allowed her to come as well today, because we're going to talk about her story a little bit, and we're going to talk more about all the services that you all offer and what role she plays, because this is just awesome for me. And I'm gonna bring you back so we can try to get somebody who may have not been on this looking at us long enough to know that you can still give. And I want to make sure, and I want to talk a little bit more about some of your programs. You all right with that? All right,
Sounds good.
we'll be right back.
Wilmington and the Ye Zion Fair Baptist Church, get ready for Men's Day 2022. It's all starting on November the 14th through the 20th. Each night, we have some strong and powerful men of God to bring the word of God. Strong men, tough men during tough times. Everything will be taking place from November 14th through the 20th here in the sanctuary. Monday and Tuesday night, our guest preacher from Richmond, Virginia, Reverend Dr. Lance Watson.
You know what you ought to do? Just wait. High five somebody and say, wait. He may not come when you want it, but he's always on time. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. When you needed peace.
Wednesday night, Reverend Dr. Jerry Carter from Newark, New Jersey.
Jacob realizes he could not go back and correct mistakes he had made as a father. But here's where he blesses me tonight. He blesses me because at some point, by the time you get to chapter 49, Jacob rechannels his energy from regretting to redeeming. Because at some point, you got to move on from regretting the past to redeeming the present and the future. I took my little daughter and her friends to an amusement park in South Jersey, and all the kids start comparing how much spending money they had. One little boy said, well, my mama gave me $50 spending money. He thought that was something until the next child said, well, I have $70 in spending money. And then the third child said, well, I got $80 in spending money. My daughter put her head down because I had forgotten to give her any spending money. But then out of nowhere, she lifted her head up and said, I got more money than all of y'all because my father is here.
Thursday and Friday night, all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Reverend Dr. William Curtis.
Some folk walk around acting like they're God's gift to creation. Some folk walk around, you may not have them in Ye Zion Fair, but I sure enough have a lot of them in Mount Ararat. They walk around feeling like they are God's special gift to creation because they carry an amnesia about how close they are to the lives the rest of us live. And just because they are packing a bigger paycheck, or now they got a title on a door, and they got to take an elevator up to a certain floor, and they got a parking space out in the parking lot, and then somebody has to call them Mr. or Mrs. And when they walk in a meeting, everybody stands up, and while they're in the meeting, everybody has to denounce their own convictions and envelop them in whatever you want, Mr. or Miss Supervisor or Senior VP or CEO or Executive somebody, as if you have forgotten that all of us drank our water out of the water hose, and all of us had to swim in the public swimming pool, and all of us had grandparents who were maids in somebody else's house. I'm sorry, I almost forgot who I was preaching to. About as much as anybody could, because for God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whosoever believes in him shall not perish, but shall have everlasting life. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not a new day preacher. I ain't got no charismatic gimmicks. I'm an old day preacher. I still believe the shout always starts at the cross, because it's at the cross. At the cross where I first saw the light, and the burden of my heart there rolled away. Now it's your turn. Take somebody by the hand, look at him, put a smile on your face, and tell him it was there by faith. believe I received my sight, and now I am happy all the day. Say yeah.
Sunday morning at 9 a.m., Bishop Albert Morgan, better known as the Mailman from Bridgeton, New Jersey. And wrapping it up at 11:30 a.m., the Reverend Dr. Andre Morgan from Boston, Massachusetts. My brothers, my sisters, everybody, tell somebody. It's going down at the E. Zion Fair Baptist Church from November the 14th through the 20th here in the sanctuary at the E. Zion Fair Baptist Church.
And we're back. Well, I am grateful and delighted to have Mary Jo Vaskins with us today. A ball of fire. She's exciting because she has a whole lot to be grateful, thankful for. While we are celebrating the month of November, Thanksgiving, we brought back, the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition so that we can continue to highlight, the whole issues and the services that are around breast cancer. But once I met you this morning, I said to myself, and you shared your testimony, I said, wow, this is what it looks like when God has done something great for somebody's life and they just excited about it. So, Mary Jo, welcome to the Coffee with Curry.
Thank you for having us.
And listen, I want to get right to it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to talk a little bit about your testimony. But let's hear a little bit about Mary Jo.
Okay. I'm a breast cancer survivor. It's 20 years. October 4th was my birthday,
Okay.
my second birthday.
All right.
And I just want to introduce myself. What I wanted to read, what you have on your shirt, that is so important to me.
Yes.
Faith over fear.
Uh-huh.
Everything in life is faith over fear.
Yeah.
I go through life. I'm from Puerto Rico,
Okay.
and I moved to the States 20 years ago, and I ended up in Delaware via retirement,
Okay.
and I did a lot of profession. I'm a breast cancer survivor, one. Second, I used to be a former marriage and family therapist,
Oh,
and I did a lot of addictions.
okay.
What got me into working with breast cancer was my own experience, but at the same time, when I was diagnosed, there was not a lot of things going on that I knew. You see, all the things that they were talking to me, it was not, no, I don't know anything. And I wanted to learn. So what more that having faith over fear, I said, my faith is going to get me through it.
Yes.
And not being afraid of my outcome, I said, I got to move on
Right.
by learning, by preventing and helping other women. So I got involved with a program, say Nueva Vida, and it was for Latinas in DC. And I was at the board for 15 years. But what really got me is that women are afraid of the word cancer.
Yeah.
And cancer is, well, it used to be cancer, you're dead.
Right.
Okay? But that's no longer. And this is not about my breast cancer. This is about preventing. It's about getting women out there to get early detection, to not to be afraid
Right.
of the outcome. My sister is a breast cancer survivor too, but one of my other sisters is not. So hereditary, part of it is, but another part it could be in your mutations, in your breast.
Yes.
My experience has been, I'm passionate about what I do,
Yes.
and I want people to have faith.
Right. Well, you're an example of that. You could have wrapped up and said, I'm just going to die. But you said, no, I want to live. And that's what faith is. So, even though this is not really as they, I don't want people to think this is a time of preaching, but you have certainly you have experienced the big C, some people call it, the boogeyman thing, and you experienced it and you chose to live. And I think people who are watching you today, need to make a decision that we won't let the diagnosis destroy our lives.
It, yes, it's so important because every day you have to make decision.
Yes.
Is you have a decision to get up, you have a decision to take a shower, and to get your health. You have a decision to take care of yourself. And taking care of yourself is not taking care of others. Because if you're not there
Right.
for your son, your everybody in your family, who's going to take care of you?
When you said that, and matter of fact, Francesca said it earlier, and I was going to respond to her, but for the last 10 years, I have every year made sure I had my physicals, blood work done, everything, because of something my wife said to me. She said, if you leave me, what will happen? And I never thought about it. And I heard both of you, and I hear many women carries 90% of the load, even though men's, if you have a husband or whatever, we help in the finances side, but sometimes, but to hear her say that made me put in perspective. I can't help her if I'm sick, dead, or whatever else. So what you're saying is that you want to get the awareness out while you're taking care of the whole world. Take care of you. Make sure that you are fine.
Yeah, it's only about you taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
It's also what you're teaching your children.
Okay.
Because if you teach your children that you need to take care of yourself with your health on a daily basis, eat right, or go to the doctor, make sure that you have your annual checkup. I have my annual checkup every year. But the year that I didn't do my checkup, my mammogram, that's the year that I passed and I ended up with breast cancer.
Oh, wow.
So it's so important that you come first. Because if you don't come first, we were taught not to be selfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, where I come from, oh, that's selfishness, but no, you need to be selfish for you, and at the same time, you're selfish to take care of the others.
It's something like on the airplane, when I go on flights all the time, they said, if in case of an emergency, put your mask on first. Because if you're trying to help the person, you'll pass out and the person is passed out. So both of y'all messed up. So I understand that concept very strongly.
It's very important.
Yeah.
It's so important. And, every day you need to take care of yourself.
Yes.
And every day you put off all your medical, it's too much work, too much everything to do. But, at the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, and I retired. To tell you a little bit, I came here and I retired when I moved here. And then I started reading that women in Delaware were not getting mammograms, were not getting screened. And it concerned me to the most that I said, I got to do something about it. So I asked the universe, I asked God to bring me something. And that night I was reading Indeed, and it said something about project manager or for the Breast Cancer Coalition. And I applied for the job. I never thought that I was going to get called. The next day I got a call and I got the interview and everything. And here I am. But here I said to myself, okay, go back to work, but with the purpose of getting women screened.
Yeah.
Women needs to get their mammogram. We put it off so many times because the kid, we got to take care of the kid. We got to take the kid to, no, we can do it. At the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, you can call our phone number and you can talk to one of our screening navigators, and they will tell you, they will do all the work for you. They will go ahead and get your script. They will call you and get the doctor, get your appointment. All you have to do is get dressed and go to the appointment.
Sure.
We give transportation,
Wow.
and we provide interpretation.
That's commitment.
So we have bilingual
Mhm.
for Spanish
Mhm.
and Haitian
Okay.
Creole.
Okay.
So
Wow.
we caught all the limitations that you might say to yourself, oh, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of this. No,
Yeah.
call.
You know, that speaks to the heart. That speaks to the heart of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. I mean, next segment, we're going to talk about all the services that you all provide. But just hearing that, you didn't stop with saying, okay, we're just going to make sure English speaking people will understand and we'll help them. You brought up Creole, you brought up Spanish. These things is what speaks to the heart of why I was very interested in making sure you all came on this show, because people who are watching me, and I have a strong senior community as well as a middle-aged community, they need to know that there are people out there who are willing to join in with them. They're not going to be alone. They'll be together. From transportation you talked about being able to set the appointments. Y'all making it so easy that somebody would have to do is just show up.
That's correct. Get dressed and show up.
Yeah. Why do you keep saying get dressed? They have to get dressed? That might be the problem. Wait a minute. No.
I just say get dressed is just because I have a say get dressed, look pretty, get dressed, and go to your appointment.
Yeah.
Because that's very important.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's very important for all of us to take care of us.
Yes, it is. It is. Now you've worked there. Now you worked in two roles pretty much there. You worked as a program director, and then you also work now as a coordinator for outreach.
Yeah, I decided to go back to my retired, semi-retired because I said, no, it's too much for me.
Okay.
I am 71 years old.
Oh, wow.
And I decided,
Excellent.
I need to enjoy my life at the same time. I volunteer, I do a lot of stuff, but I wanted to keep on going and get women. And what I wanted to do outreach, because a lot of the times access to
Mm,
care
mhm,
is very important.
mhm,
And we have a lot of places are rural
mhm,
in Delaware. So we go there.
mhm,
And if we can get a nurse practitioner to go to provide volunteer services to do the breast exam,
mhm,
and we can get the women there, we can get our navigators
mhm.
and everything, and we can get them screened and do their mammogram. That's my purpose.
Right.
And that's what I want.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of doctors and a lot of, I know you said earlier that you have a lot of your congregation that are survivors.
Yeah.
Please reach out to us.
Yeah.
We need survivors to
Okay.
come in and be part of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition.
Mm.
We have all the programs and volunteers to do a lot of stuff.
Mhm.
So please do reach out.
Yeah, well, you heard her. She really, and I think that's important. That if you are a survivor, and it's not just for those who are experiencing it now, but those who are able to say, "Look, I'm cancer free." 20 years. You said 20 years.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
And how do you feel today?
I feel great. I feel wonderful. I said to myself, well, if I survive cancer, I can do whatever. And every time I go to the doctor says, oh, this is going to hurt. And I said, I survived chemo.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
It
okay.
has made you tough,
Yes.
and that's
And
excellent.
I'm grateful for cancer. Why? Because it opened my eyes to a different world,
Mhm.
to take a look at the world in a different, to take a look at the world in a different way,
Right.
to live in the moment,
Okay. Okay.
okay? To have faith every second of my life
Mhm.
and to help others.
Yes, yes. Next week, not this week, but next week, we're going to have some shows. We're doing for the whole month of November. We don't want people just to think that the third Thursday in the month of November is Thanksgiving, and that's the only time you ought to be thankful. But we're doing a whole month of several shows on Thanksgiving. In the Bible, and I'm just going to give this to you. It says there's two different scriptures. One that says, "In all things give thanks," and "For all things." That is very difficult to do the "for all," because how could you give God thanks for cancer? But you just showed us. You just showed us how you do that. You show us because you came out of it and you're stronger today than you were before you went into it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's so important. And I'm grateful.
Yes.
I'm grateful because I'm able to reach you
Yeah.
right now
Yeah.
and tell you, don't be afraid. If you have faith, Have faith in you, have faith in your higher power, and don't fear.
Yeah, that's awesome. Mary Jo, I know in the front end you were a little nervous about coming on, but you did a phenomenal job. The Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition is blessed to have you. We, the Easy and Fair family, as well as those who view our telecast, are grateful to have you. And I'm just glad you had the time to come so we can see what a miracle looks like.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed for the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition.
Yes.
And it's because, and Francesca will talk about this, but the most important thing is that you get diagnosed, but we don't drop you.
Yeah.
We just go on with it. You get survivorship that helps you all the way through.
Right.
So
this is awesome. We're going to have to invite you back, as well as we're going to matter of fact, we're going to open up the door that when you all feel that y'all need to have at least a media channel to be able to share the wonderful things that you all are doing and need help with, assistance with, that we will be available and we'll be a channel to be able to help you. Mary Jo, thank you so much for coming today. And I just wish we had more time because I enjoyed your story. I enjoyed your energy. I just enjoy you. So thank you so much.
thank you.
And you have a great one. We'll be right back. And we're back. We're back with the CEO, Francesca Vogel. Okay, right? Is that right? Okay, I apologize. And I was just sharing with her that it's a blessing to have she and Mary Jo with us today. And I even was just sharing with her about her name, how you spell the end of her name. It ends with an EL, which is L. And those of you who are theologians out there, L is always the sign means God. And I told her that most of the 3 Hebrew boys, all of their names ended with L as well. And it was to remind them that they belong to God. And certainly you are divine inspiration who belongs to God. So we thank God for that. Let me now spend the rest of our time. I want you to really share in your own words the things that you all do at the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, because I want people to hear. We've got a good little feel, but just share what you all have.
Yeah, so Mary Jo spoke to the Women's Health Screening Program, which is a large portion of what we do, getting people screened. So there's sort of 2 components. There's getting people screened through the Women's Health Screening Program, and the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition runs the state contract for women's health screening. So we execute that contract throughout all 3 counties. We work closely with the state's Screening for Life program, which steps in to take care of those barriers we were talking about earlier. If people are underinsured or uninsured, that no longer is a barrier to getting your mammography. So we can help you with getting eligibility and getting the benefits of that so that you can get your mammogram. We spoke about the other barriers that we overcome as well in women's health screening with interpretation services. We'll accompany you at the mammography if you need translation or interpretation in Spanish or Haitian Creole, and provide transportation if needed, and assist you. If you are diagnosed, then there is a trusting handoff to another area of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition where you seamlessly now become part of our family of survivorship. And we have a plethora of survivorship programs. One of the first ones someone newly diagnosed will go through is beginning your pink ribbon journey. So obviously someone newly diagnosed, as Mary Jo was explaining, there's a lot of fear, a lot of questions, a lot of the unknown. So even understanding the language that suddenly surrounds you with a breast cancer diagnosis, asking the questions, calming people about the expectations, what's going to change in your life, what treatment options will you be facing, and having that open dialogue, taking time with the person to really have them understand this journey that they're about to embark on, and us being here through all of it, really in a personalized way, providing that foundation, that rock that you can rely on as you focus on your treatment and healing. We have also a program of peer mentors. We train survivors themselves who have overcome breast cancer to sort of give back to others newly diagnosed. And we try to pair them as best as we can with their particular diagnosis of breast cancer, because breast cancer is many different forms of cancer, with their particular life stage, whether they're in newly starting a family and have those types of concerns and lifestyle priorities, or maybe they're more senior in life. And we try to pair them closely with someone who, like them, had a similar diagnosis of breast cancer, went through a similar treatment, and provide that personalized one-on-one support. For our women of color, we have a program called My Sister's Keeper, and that was actually founded by two women who were volunteers who were both survivors. They're twin sisters as well, that were part of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition family that decided we need a group where women of color can come together and connect, on a cultural level, and to share that fellowship and support each other and help each other through the hard questions, the tough questions, and form that bond, and rely on that for support throughout the rest of their breast cancer journey. So that's a lovely program that continues on. And Erica Saunders is the person who executes that program. If you want to reach out to her in our agency here.
Is she in Wilmington?
She's based in Newcastle County.
Oh, she's based in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And her name is again?
Erica Saunders.
Okay, Erica Saunders. So I just want to make sure they hear that.
Also a breast cancer survivor herself.
Oh, excellent.
Yes. We also have programs such as for survivors, Nurture with Nature. And that is where we bring survivors together and connect them with the healing and nurturing power of nature. And they'll do things like nature hikes, horseback riding, biking, even a walk on the beach. I think we even did zip lining.
Oh, wow.
You're coming together with other survivors to really experience the therapeutic and nurturing aspects of nature, which can help you and in your frame of mind as you're focusing on your treatment and getting better. Other programs we have are survivor socials, where survivors come together around a craft or activity. Around the holidays, we do things like wreath making sessions. We'll be doing something with the Art Museum and the Delaware Horticulture Society. So again, coming together, connecting with other survivors, and seeing and drawing from the energy, the hope, and the warrior mentality of those who came from a place of fear, who are now feeling empowered to take this journey and overcome the challenges ahead of them, and see people come out on the other side having beaten cancer is very it's very uplifting.
Yes.
For a new survivor. Trying to think of some of the other programs that we have as well.
While you're thinking, is there a cost for these programs?
A great question. So most of these programs we try to provide free. If there's any cost at all, it's very little, or it's subsidized. It's a much lower cost, or it's a pass-through charge if we're going to a state park where they charge a fee. But we try to subsidize that. But for the most part, these are free programs.
Yeah. And this is one of the reasons why I would like for everyone who can to donate, that they may continue to subsidize, as you said, or to provide services that are free, because everyone doesn't have the money to be able to be a part of such august group of services, and for them to provide this many services and not do it with an astronomical charge is really remarkable as well. But I do understand sometimes, like if we're going to the zip line park, we're paying for the zip line, but we're still doing something together. We're providing transportation, things of that nature. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. What do you mean?
No, that's a great point. So we do, that's an important point, because that helps us attract more survivors when we can eliminate the costs altogether.
Yes.
Some of the other programs that we provide are Yes to Health. Yes to Health is a free 12-week program that sort of rotates between an educational session and an activity, physical activity, fitness activity such as walking. Or the educational sessions tend to focus on topics such as nutrition, fitness, overall well-being. And that through the pandemic had been held virtually. So we're still doing it virtually. So it's a great way for people to connect and to share it and hold each other accountable. It's also, it targets a broader audience than just breast cancer patients. It's also for people who have other underlying, comorbidities, maybe a heart disease or chronic illnesses like that.
Right.
And it tries to set them up on a pattern that they can sustain even after the 12 weeks and bring a healthier lifestyle back to their lives. So I would encourage many of your congregation to find out about that program as well. We also have for younger survivors, as the name would tell you, Young Survivors in Action. So that is a program caters toward women who are typically younger or have different lifestyle challenges ahead of them as they're dealing with a breast cancer diagnosis, but it tries to channel their energy into positive health outcomes by bringing them together for different activities and social networking and the fellowship, where they can talk among themselves too about how they're dealing with breast cancer with perhaps young kids at home and how to explain that to them and how to create awareness around their family about the kind of support that is helpful or not helpful for their caregivers. We also have a once annual, it'll be our 25th annual breast cancer update, which is a research symposium. We're holding those virtually now, and we've had as many as over 400 attendees in the past. Even we used to hold them in person as well, but that will host various subject matter experts in the area of breast cancer research, treatment, and caregiving. It will attract physicians and caregivers from throughout the state. We have local and national speakers, and there are panels that encourage sort of a question and answer format as well, where the latest in research and treatment is being put out there as education for the general public, and that is a free event. So that happens in April of 2023, our next one. So you can just dial in and learn a whole lot. And on a more frequent basis, we have something called In the Loop.
In the loop.
In the Loop, which we
Okay.
try to do monthly, and it'll feature a topic related to breast cancer, where we bring in, again, subject matter experts to have sort of a dialogue with the audiences that tune in, where you can also in a Q&A format ask questions if you're interested in the topic or want to know a little bit more from some trusted resources that we have. There are many more other networking
Wow. I'm
activities
just sitting here
that
saying
we
you have so many. Yes.
and again, very important that we try to offer those free because we know that people need these services and need that fellowship and that bond
Yes.
and can learn so much and draw so much hope from those who've been walked through their shoes, been through their journey. Many of our survivors form lifelong friendships through this. And it's really just, it's wonderful to see people thriving through their journey.
Yeah, as I listen, I just say it's just I thought y'all would just help people get a mammogram. I'm saying it right. I thought that was it, but wow, it'd be from before the pre-diagnosis through total healing, you all provide the services.
Yes, and before I forget, there are two other programs I want to mention that are also very useful. One is our Breast Cancer Assistance Fund, and that is for people who are undergoing treatment, or if they've undergone treatment and have later diagnostic tests that they need to be part of, where their income has been impacted, right? We know how expensive medical bills can be.
Yes.
So we will financially help people with their medical bills or with other life needs, paying their rent or mortgage, car payments, utility bills, and things of that nature, just basic living expenses, so that they can truly focus on just their healing because we don't need them to be distracted by all of those other financial burdens during that time. We also have a program called Bosom Buddies, and that program provides wigs, mastectomy, undergarments, scarves, and so much more. I think I said prosthetics to women who need them, both targeting the underserved population throughout Delaware, as well as people who just may need it, or we have enough in inventory to help people out with those resources as well.
For those of you who are watching us today, I hope that you really, if you know of someone or if you are that someone, would really just call the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. We have the CEO here, and she shared all of these. I got lost in how many programs they offer. You don't have to suffer in silence. You don't have to be alone. It's a network of individuals who can work together to help you. You ended your services by talking about even helping with bills. Unbelievable. In an age, in an era that we live in today, this is kind of unheard of. But I'm grateful, and I'm glad that our team stuck with making sure we got you all on the show, so people could see you, see what you all offer. And as I shared with Mary Jo, I'm going to share with you. If ever you want to come back and push a program or whatever, please contact us because we want to be a part in any way that we can. We don't want it just to be a one and done because I'm going to continue to ask you to come back during certain awareness months, but. Like you said to me first thing this morning, every day is awareness. We need to be aware of it. We need to help. We need to send out the messages. Tell us again the phone number as well as the website of where and how we can donate and find out more information.
Mhm. The website is probably your best source of information, and that's www.debreastcancer.org.
Okay.
The phone number again, I don't have committed to memory, but I'm sure you'll show it
Yeah,
up
and
in a
I and I
second.
and I put you on the spot 2 times, and I'm so sorry. All right, but
That's okay.
that's the main thing is the website. But we will have this. We will have the phone number on the screen so that you will be able to call in. But again, if you are internet savvy, it's best to do the website because it has all of its feature, everything that it needs. And if you have some questions, then certainly you can call. But I just think this is just awesome. And now, what if I have a brother, a male, who says I don't know whether I may have breast cancer? Do y'all help them or y'all just strictly for the women?
No, we do. So that's an important message as well.
Yeah.
Actually, our In the Loop series did an entire segment on male breast cancer.
Okay.
And we have male breast cancer survivors that we have assisted before. So again, peer mentoring with them if you should be diagnosed, especially if you, so I don't think we mentioned it yet, but what are things that you should be looking for, men or women?
Yeah.
If you're over age 40, you should be getting an annual mammogram.
Mhm.
If you have breast cancer history in your family, even for the men, if they have breast cancer, their moms or grandmoms, you might want to be more vigilant. And thirdly, if you notice changes, visible changes or abnormalities in the breast area or pain, those are signals that you should probably ask your physician to write you a script, even if you're a male.
Mhm.
Men can get mammograms too. I mean, there are breasts, so it is possible. And as we know, we have breast cancer survivors who are male here in Delaware.
Yes.
The numbers aren't quite the same, but it does happen.
Right.
Yeah, so be cautiously vigilant and don't leave it to chance because again, early detection, even for men, proves to be much more helpful in terms of better outcomes.
Yeah. And again, please make sure you know when from 40 and above, unless you have a strong history of breast cancer in your family, you can do it earlier. But really, if you are 40 years old or older, you should be at least annually getting a mammogram done so that you will be able to see if there's any cancer. She gave some signs. You said one was pain. What are the signs? A lump.
A lump or abnormalities, there's a whole range of things that can be detected. But if you know your body and
Yeah.
something has changed, don't just chalk it off to it'll go away.
Hmm.
Make sure you get checked out. And what you said earlier, Pastor, about just community. Community is the reason we've been around for over 31 years. Had it not been for the help of community partners helping to support our mission financially and through their volunteer hours and raising funds on their own for the benefit of our programs and services, we would not have been able to have provided 16,000 mammograms
Oh, wow.
here in Delaware. This year alone, if I can recall some of the numbers just in our fiscal year, we've provided 740 navigated mammography. So our navigators have navigated over 760
Awesome.
women. We've held over 300 events throughout the communities to try to get this awareness and this education out there. We have about 2,600 survivors that we've helped with support services that we discuss through our programs. And that number keeps growing. And again, you mentioned you have some in your congregation. So I would encourage them to reach out to us and be part of this family and continue to experience the support that you should have as a survivor.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know I wish I had more time because you're giving us such great information and I'm so happy for it. Tell us about great stuff again because I want to go by there. But tell us about and do they have operation hours?
Yes, so we're open Monday through Saturday.
Okay.
And you can find the hours if you look up Great
Okay.
Stuff Savvy Retail
Okay.
in Wilmington, you will find the shop hours specifically. You can shop there as well. As I said, 100% of the proceeds come to benefit the programs and services of the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. So donating household items like things you see here on the set. You know, if you have an end table or a chair or a lamp, things like that, or artwork.
Okay.
We feature all of those things. The holiday season is around the corner.
Okay.
You know, shop. They're one-of-a-kind little treasures there. Again, it's run mostly by volunteers. We have a manager as well, but volunteers who are survivors. They're passionate about the community. And it's great service too. You can find one-of-a-kind items there as well, little treasures.
I'm going to find out, and I'm going to come back and show what we've
donate.
donate. You're right. Well, listen, thank you so very much, Francesca. It has been a joy, a privilege.
Likewise.
What you do for our community is beyond appreciated. Well, shall I say, it is very much appreciated. And I pray that the Lord will continue to bless the organization and continue to do the great work that you all do. On behalf of the Wilmington community, our congregation, I want to say thank you so very much for what you do, and continue to keep your head up high as you continue to do this work.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And we'll be back.
Wilmington and the E. Zion Fair Baptist Church, get ready for Men's Day 2022. It's all starting on November the 14th through the 20th. Each night, we have some strong and powerful men of God to bring the word of God. Strong men, tough men during tough times. Everything will be taking place from November 14th through the 20th here in the sanctuary. Monday and Tuesday night, our guest preacher from Richmond, Virginia, Reverend Dr. Lance Watson. Wednesday night, Reverend Dr. Jerry Carter from Newark, New Jersey. Thursday and Friday night, all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Reverend Dr. William Curtis. Sunday morning at 9 a.m., Bishop Albert Morgan, better known as the Mailman from Bridgeton, New Jersey. And wrapping it up at 11:30 a.m., the Reverend Dr. Andre Morgan from Boston, Massachusetts. My brothers, my sisters, everybody, tell somebody it's going down at the E. Zion Fair Baptist Church from November the 14th through the 20th here in the sanctuary at the E. Zion Fair Baptist Church.
And we're back. First, let me just say to the wonderful people at the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, thank you for showing up, and thank you for sharing the services that they shared. I hope those of you who watched today got an opportunity to see and hear some of the wonderful services that they provide. It appears to me that they will help you in the pre, the during, and the post. There is not a moment when you are experiencing the quote unquote big C, as some have called it, where you cannot get help from the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. I'm grateful for the work that they do. I've heard about their work. I then did my research and I saw the work that they do. Why don't you make sure, if you have some extra dollars? I know we live in a tough economy, but sometimes, we have to learn to bless others who just can't bless us back. And if you can give a donation to the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition, that would be great, because we all know that in time of need, we all need someone who understands, not someone who will sympathize, but one who can empathize with what we're going through. And as she said, as the CEO have said several times, many of the volunteers are survivors. They understand the plight, they understand the hurt, they understand the loneliness that could come with not getting the support that they do offer. So I hope this was a great show for you today. I hope you got an opportunity to really hear, and I hope you get an opportunity to go buy great stuff and get some great stuff for the holidays as gifts. Or you can donate and donate some nice stuff to the great stuff. So again,